Studio on Monday, May 9th at 11 a.m. As usual, this is where you can find me working, and I'm going to share some really exciting stuff with you today. So I'm glad you're here. Okay, first of all, big news. Amelia graduated from Utah Valley University on Friday. Hallelujah. She's done, and she now has a degree in her major was art and design with a minor in art history. So that girl is, I'd like to think that she's a chip off the old block. So anyway, that was exciting news in my personal life. And I have lots of other really fun things to talk about. Number one, today is the launch date for the Garden Party Quilt Along. So you've seen little snippets. I've shared a little bit here and there with you about the garden party. Last week we talked about naming it the Spring Fling, and I decided, you know what, we're going to do, the way we're going to do this is this. Each Monday, I will be releasing a new block. So starting today through the end of July. So this will go May, June, July. There will be a total of 12 blocks. Every Monday, there will be a new block released for this quilt along. And today is the ladybug. Let me see if I can find it. I've just been working hard in my studio. I'm not sure where I put it. Hang on. Where is it? Ah, right here. Okay, so today I was just writing out the pattern and getting the email ready. So this is the first block. You saw this yesterday or last week. It's not live, it's not active yet. It will just give me 30 minutes or 40 minutes, this afternoon, this block will be available. And when you register for the quilt along, you'll have a new block delivered every Monday to your email. So you get 12 blocks, 12 weeks. It's going to get us through the summer and give us something fun to do. This will be a quilt as you go project. And the reason I've selected that is because I had a wonderful time. I love to do a little bit of handwork. And so I did some, I put this in an embroidery hoop and I added some embroidery, and I'm going to put this on my machine and just do some quilting on the ladybug. So everything will be really accessible and easy because I like to be able to sit down with a small project and just have fun with it. So to me, this is the ideal thing for summer because I can sit out at the pool or, sit in a road trip, which I'll be taking later, and just have a small project to work on my lap. And then at the end, we will put the whole thing together. So the instructions that you'll be getting today when you sign up for this block, for this quilt along, you'll get the template and instructions for creating this block along with all the sizes and whatnot. You can see I've left it unfinished. I've got the batting and the backing fabric, and I want you to leave it unfinished like this until we're ready to piece everything together. So there we go. And I'm not going to show you any more. I've already given you lots of hints about what other types of flowers and bugs will be in this quilt. And so every Monday it will be a surprise about which one is being delivered. At the end of the quilt along, you will be able to access the physical pattern and purchase the physical pattern. So if you hate downloads, just hang on until the end of summer and then the physical pattern will be available. But every week through the end of July, this will be a download. It'll be a PDF download that you print at home. Okay, so I'm so excited. You guys know I've been planning and preparing for this and finally have it ready to launch. So that's super exciting news. So Amelia graduated from college. We have a new quilt along that's going to be really fun. So 1 block a week, just really super manageable. And then you'll see this cute little zombie doll sitting back here. I want to tell you about this zombie doll. Okay. And then we'll get to your comments and questions. So this little zombie is, years ago, I designed this pattern. So you may have known that I used to design fabric for Riley Blake Designs. And so this is some of my fabric, and I designed this doll as kind of a complementary pattern to go with my zombie fabric collection. Um, and somebody asked me a while ago if I would bring back the zombie doll pattern. So her name is Rosie, the zombie doll. Isn't she the cutest? She's super easy to make, and anyway, I have a pattern. I'm going to get this pattern ready to put out there as well for any of you that have zombie lovers in your life. Let me tell you what inspired the zombie. Um, so all of my fabric collections, when I was designing fabric, were inspired mostly by my kids. Sometimes my domestic life, my grandmother inspired one of my fabric collections, but this zombie collection was inspired by Amelia. Amelia's my daughter. She's the one that works with me. She's my assistant. Um, so when she was about 14, 13, 14, 15, she was really into zombies. It started out with, I don't know, she was just into, I don't know, everywhere we would go to Costco or we'd go to the grocery store because she was my little buddy hanging around. I would take my kids with me to the grocery store or whatever. And Amelia would say, Mom, if there's a zombie apocalypse, we have to go to Costco and we have to climb up, blah, blah, blah. And she had this whole list of rules that you had to live by in order to survive a zombie apocalypse. For example, zombies can't climb trees. Zombies are attracted to loud noises and lights, and zombies can't read. And so there were all these little rules that she made up about zombies and surviving the zombie apocalypse. And so that's why I created this zombie apocalypse fabric line. Obviously, it's been, a decade. No, let's see. When did this come out? It was probably, oh, it was a long time ago that this zombie apocalypse fabric came out. So, anyway, it's no longer available. I do have a little bit left over because I designed it, and so I have some of the fabric, but I did think it would be a fun project to pull out of the archives, if you will. So eventually I'll get this, sometime this month. I hope to get the Rosie, the zombie doll pattern available on my website. Um, okay, let's see. So, I have one more really exciting thing to share with you. I finally received the little old lady in the shoe back this weekend from the quilter. So, I may have told you that if there's a quilt that I care about, that I really love, I'm not going to quilt it myself um, unless it's a quilt as you go, because I like doing that. But I've kind of discovered that I don't like doing long arm quilting. I don't like putting quilts on my long arm machine and doing it. It's laborious. It's not as creative as the other type of work that I prefer. So I've just kind of decided, if anything, if I'm ever going to do a large scale quilt that won't fit on my domestic machine easily, I'm going to send it to Marion McClellan, who's my go-to quilter. And I want to show you what she did with the quilt. So here, I don't have it bound yet because I just got it back, but it is finished. So here is let me back up a little bit more. Oh, look at that. Isn't it just adorable? I love, love, love this quilt. And because I loved it, I sent it to Marion because she's really good at this. So just a close up of some of her quilting on this. And exciting news, Marion is going to make an appearance on one of these episodes. So I need to coordinate with her and get her schedule so that we can have her live in my studio. Well, actually, she'll be at her home, but we're going to broadcast, and we'll do an interview with a fabulous long arm quilter, and she can answer all of your questions about how to quilt a collage quilt. Okay. So that's something else that's fun that's coming up. And I'm anxious to learn more from Marion. And anyway, so there we go. So that's a lot of fun stuff, right? Lots been happening. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to get to your questions right now. And if you have questions, this is always a wonderful format to ask questions. I'm starting to get probably more emails than I can respond to every day. And so I want to always encourage you, if you have a question that you'd like me to answer, this is a really good platform to meet me on. So come to my live video and ask the question. So just chat. I'm just going to scroll through the, I'm going to scroll through the questions right now. Thanks everybody for Amelia's graduation. That's super fun. Okay, good morning, everybody from Washington and Virginia and Montana, Wisconsin. Let's see here. Debbie, can't wait to start the new quilt along. Great, I'm excited. I'm so excited for this too. It's going to be really fun. The way this is coming together is just, oh, I love it. Oh, I have one of my friends from Haines Junction. I did a virtual workshop. I think it was a workshop. It might have just been a trunk show up in Haines Junction, Alaska. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Let me address so we released several new products this week. We released the quilt bundle, the quilt kit for the Octopus Garden quilt. We released 2 new fussy cutting bundles, and we released the white and cream fabric bundle. So unfortunately, as I knew it would, I warned you, the kit fabric has sold out for the octopus kit, as has the fussy cutting bundles. I will not be getting more kit fabric in for Octopus Garden, but we will be creating additional fussy cut bundles. And I can't guarantee that it will be like the June Piper and June kits. Will probably I need to look and see, but anyway, so they're sold out. I'm not sure that we'll be able to get exactly everything that was in those kits, but we will continue to do fussy cut bundles, and I'll try to boost my inventory. That's been kind of a challenge in the business. As you know, this is a business. I'm an artist and a businesswoman, and anyway, so it's been hard for me to judge the demand, and I will be increasing my ordering so that we can meet the demand. So if you want something, you can get it in the future. And for those of you that missed out on this kit, the fabric, there's a fabric guide in the pattern, so it lists exactly the fabric that you need if you want to duplicate this quilt. Okay, so to the Facebook user who thought they ordered the octave, if you ever have a customer service question about an order, if you'll email me, that's the best way for me to respond. So questions about how to do something, or random methodology questions, you can ask here. If you have customer service questions, please email me, Emily@collagequilter.com or Amelia@collagequilter.com, and we can help you with any order issues that you have. Okay, so somebody just asked a great question. Will the pattern have a scale mark so I can trace it from my computer? Don't have a printer. That is a great suggestion. I appreciate that. I will make sure that I have a scale so that you can know the accurate scale that you should be creating these templates at, so that you can print the templates and draw them if you need to trace them. So I will include that. And let's see here. Oh, someone agrees with me. She prefers to do quilting on the domestic machine. Um, okay. Thank you, Donna, for the enthusiasm about the little old lady in the shoe. Oh, let's see. Somebody asked to see the stitch detail. So let me show you the stitch detail. Well, I'm not really sure which quilt you'd like to see. What I'll do is I will take some close-up photographs of the quilting in each of these projects. So the little old lady in the shoe, I'll take some close-up photographs so that and then I'll post them on my website and on Facebook and whatnot, so that you can see the stitching detail. So I'll do that for the quilt along. Well, there will be a blog post about that, and we'll do a blog post in for the little old lady in the shoe. Let's see. Karen says hello from Texas to everybody. Let's see. So someone asked if I could turn it around to show the quilting much better. The problem with this is that the fabric is a little crazy. So I don't, yeah, I don't think that's going to show the quilting. So I will just take some close-up photography so that you can see the quilting. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, somebody just said they started Pilates for seniors. That's awesome. I do Pilates every day and I love it. So very good for you. Let's see. So the next question that I see is, when can we order the little old lady in the shoe? It will be in the next, hopefully this week. I have the pattern written and the foundation panels ready to go. So it's just a matter of making the product on the website. So we'll get that available ASAP. And okay, let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to re-announce this because we've got people joining a little bit late. Diane said, did you announce the Quilt Along info? Yes, the Quilt Along is beginning today. So details about the Quilt Along. It is going to be Garden Party, not Spring Fling, even though I love that name. But I think Garden Party is more appropriate because this is going to take us all the way through the end of July. So every single week on Monday, when you participate in the Quilt Along, you will receive a PDF download to your inbox and with a new block. One block a week for 12 weeks. And we started with the Ladybug today. I'll be making that product live today, and we'll be sending out an email today as well, with all the details about the Quilt Along. So we're starting that today, and I'm really excited about that. Let's see here. Karen said, you sold out of fussy cut bundles in 30 minutes. Yeah, unfortunately, I really, really apologize for that. Again, I'm a businesswoman and I am trying to figure out how to anticipate demand. And I didn't do a very good job. So I apologize that those fussy cut bundles sold out so quickly. Going forward, I'll be adding more fabric, I'll make more bundles available. So let's see here. Okay, so here's a great question. My question is, I tend to cut pieces the same size and shape. The shape has generally rounded sides, not round, but how do I change those habits? Do you have any tips? So here's a really interesting thing I've noticed as I've taught classes. I find that the shape that people cut their pieces tends to be a little bit like a fingerprint. Everybody falls into a groove of cutting their shapes about the same every time. Some people will do more rounded shapes. Some people will do very rectangular shapes. I do kind of triangular with a rounded edge. So it's a really kind of an interesting thing. I've noticed that you can kind of tell somebody's work based on the consistency of their shapes. Weird, right? So How do you change that? Well, the only thing I can think of to tell you is, so if you're starting out with a piece of fabric that's about, square or rectangular, and you're going to be adding pieces to that, try just doing, and you want to change it up, just try doing triangles. That's the most efficient cut off the side of a square or a rectangle, just right across the edge and then round that edge so that it will fit into something like the ladybug. Um, I'm just going to show you this so that you can kind of see how I generally cut things. Um, a lot of them are very, very angular cuts, but then I round one edge. I tend to really like that little more angular cut. But there are, doing kind of these organic shapes, there's always rounding that has to happen. So maybe think about keeping it just rounding one side or something like that. Okay, let's keep going. You'll just have to be conscientious about the shape that you're cutting. Another question, when does the quilt along start? It starts today. Um, If you do the quilt along using download, will buying paper patterns cost extra? No, this is a more expensive pattern, and the paper pattern will probably be the same price as the download pattern. It'll be sold for $39. I've done some price adjustments on my on my website, and I feel like those quilt patterns that have 12 blocks, especially if it's a quilt along, $39 is a bargain. So that's the price, and that will be the same whether it's a download or a paper pattern. Okay, let's see. So here's how to get started with the quilt along. It's not for sale quite yet. I will get it up this afternoon. So it's Monday. Today's Monday, May 9th. It will be available this afternoon. I'm just going to finish that up. And then once you've purchased the quilt along, you will receive an email every week. And that's all you have to do. It will be an email that comes to you, just like we did the Christmas quilt along. Let's see. Oh, somebody asked, so somebody responded to that question earlier and said that she's been cutting along the fabric design, which I think is a really great way to do it. Good suggestion. Okay, let's keep going. Oh my goodness, we have a friend from Saudi Arabia joining us today. Welcome. Let's see. So someone just asked, this is a great response. To vary your shapes, look at Sea Glass Quilts by Ali McCatherine of the Exhausted Octopus. Oh, I love Exhausted Octopus. It helped me vary my shapes. Okay, so that's great. Let's see. And someone just asked, can we order the garden quilt along and woman in the shoe at the same time to save on postage? So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, you might have missed this. The garden party quilt along begins today. It is only going to be available as a downloadable pattern until the end of the quilt along, at which time it will be made into a physical pattern. So I just find that it's easiest as we're doing a quilt along and working together, that download is the easiest way for me to get the patterns out to everybody. And then when the quilt along is over, then I'll have all of the templates and pattern instructions available in the physical pattern. So if you want to wait for the physical pattern, it will be August by the time I get that physical pattern out. So there's no need to wait if you want to order the little old lady in the shoe. Plus, if you order both, it's free shipping if you're a domestic, if you live in the US. International shipping is more expensive, of course. Oh, we've got somebody from Namibia. That's crazy. So that's somebody from Saudi Arabia and Namibia. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so is this quilt along going to be a full-size quilt? Yes, these blocks are going to make a full-size lap quilt. The blocks will be 14 inches, I think, finished, and it will be 12 14-inch blocks. So whatever that adds up to be. So the quilt as you go, any tips? Yes, I will be explaining as we go later on in the quilt, in the process, in the quilt along. I will explain in detail about how to put your pieces together, and it's super, super simple. We're going to do this one a little bit different than we did excuse me, we're going to do this one a little bit different than the one we did for the Christmas collage, or the Christmas quilt along. The Christmas quilt along had sashing on the front, so the seams were on the front. This quilt along, I want to do the seam for the attaching the blocks on the back, and then we'll do a stitch on the back. So that's why I want you to leave, as you do this, I want you to leave your backing fabric and your batting. Don't trim it. And the other important little note to keep in mind is don't quilt up to leave 3/4 of an inch between the edge of the block and your design. And this is all written in the pattern as well. So, okay. One question about fabric. I know that you guys love to buy fabric to match what I'm making, and I'm so sorry that sometimes I don't like the restriction of having to buy fabric and then make something with it. I actually dug into my stash, and I have, like you probably have a big stash of fabric. I have a stash of fabric that goes back years. And this fabric is really old, as is this. And I've just been hanging on to it, not knowing how I would use it. And I just pulled it out to kind of have fun and see if it would work. And ta-da, I love it. So I'm not going to be able to make the fabric available other than for each collage. Those are made up of the fabric bundles that I have available for sale on my website, and now the fussy cutting bundles. If you were lucky to get one, there's a chance we might be able to increase. We might have a few extra that I'll put up for sale, but you can see that these are examples of some of the leaves that I've fussy cut to add to this, just to kind of have fun with this block. So the whole idea of this is we are having a party, and we're just gonna be creative, super, super creative, and have fun with fussy cutting and different block designs and different embroidery. And I think when we're finished, this is going to be an absolutely spectacular party quilt. It's going to be really, really fun. So, let's see. Let me get back to questions. I will see Doris, I will see if I can get the little old lady in the shoe pattern up for sale today as well. Oh, okay. I need to talk about how we named the fabric bundles, the fussy cutting fabric bundles. And this is gonna be kind of a fun thing. So Piper and June were the names of the new fussy cutting bundles. Well, Piper and June are the names of Amelia's cats. And I think every new fussy cutting bundle is going to hereafter be named after someone's cat, and that includes one of yours. So when we're ready to announce a new fussy cutting bundle, I'm going to ask for name suggestions, and it has to be named after one of your cats, and the winner gets the honor of naming the new fussy cutting bundle. I know that's kind of crazy, but we just thought it would be fun. So let's talk some more. Let me make sure. So Roxanne, in answer to your question, no, this is $39 for the entire quilt along. That includes 12 downloads for 3 months, $39. It is a bargain. So anyway, that will be the price. Okay. Let's see. Someone just asked if we order the quilt along, are we able to watch the tutorials later? I'm super busy in the summer, but I really want to do this. Absolutely. So any of the tutorials that I make available will be on this live video, or so you can find it either on Facebook or YouTube or on my website on the blog on Collage Quilter. So I want to make sure that you have access to those anytime you need them. Okay, let's see. So someone just asked, do you have a favorite fabric designer? Yeah, two of my favorite fabric designers are Kay Fassett and Anna Maria Horner. Both of them are free spirit designers. And I really, really love what both of them create. I love the lifestyles that they lead, and I really want to be like Anna Maria. she's she's amazingly talented and has a great eye, and Kate has an amazing eye for color. So I end up using his fabric more than anybody else's. And if you ever take one of my workshops, I'll explain why. He has he has a really, really great understanding of color and combining colors. And that's why I love them. Okay, so somebody just said, let's see. Oh, so somebody asked within 30 minutes of receiving the email, they added the bundle to the cart. And by the time they took time to figure out what Piper meant. Piper was just the name of my Amelia's cat. And she went to purchase, the bundles were sold out. So which project did Piper go with? So what I've done with those fussy cutting bundles is I've collected fabric that I have used in collage quilting just to add fussy cut elements like these leaves. So that's what the bundle is. And you can see I've used some of those fabric bundles to create some of the flowers in Sublime. I use those fussy cutting elements. I've used a lot of the fussy cutting in the Little Old Lady in the Shoe. Let me see if I can show you an example of that. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you can see a little bit here. So I just love, this isn't the best example because it's not entirely fussy cut, but you can see little snippets of that in the leaf design. Here's a little bit more along the edges. I like that veining. Oops, right there, that veining. So there's a touch of it here and there. You can see a lot more of it in the Wee Green Beasties quilt, which I don't have right now, but I'm starting to think that it's really super fun to embellish the blocks with fussy cut leaves and flowers and whatnot. So that's the purpose of the fussy cutting bundles. So I haven't used them in just one project. I kind of just use them freeform in whatever I think might be fun. So Jennifer, again, the kit for the 12-week quilt along, or the price is $39. Okay, so we've got some cats. I am going to have an Oscar bundle. He's going to be next in line, actually, in honor of my late cat. And then maybe we'll do Harley because that's my other late cat. Okay. Yeah, so no correlation of the name to the bundle. I'm sorry, it was just too fun to name it after a cat. So Roxanne just asked, is this quilt along beginner friendly? There will be a good variety. There won't be anything advanced, but there will be some intermediate. So there will be super simple all the way up to intermediate. So the way I think about levels is beginner, and then there's kind of a strong beginner, which is also beginner intermediate, and then intermediate, and then intermediate to advanced, and then advanced. So these will kind of fall into the beginner intermediate level. Okay. So Nancy just asked a question, how do we register for your events with guilds? I do private events with guilds. If you have a quilt guild and you are interested in hiring me to do a trunk show or a workshop, you can just email me and I'll send you my information about that. In fact, I just did a trunk show this morning with a guild in Connecticut. And then I've got a workshop with them tomorrow. So you can find my schedule on my website on the events tab of Collage Quilter. Let's see. Hello from France, Catherine. Okay, and a friend from Germany. Welcome. Okay. All right. I think that is. Oh, somebody just asked, I know fabric design is labor intensive. Would you ever get back into it? Um, Actually, yes. I would really like to get back into fabric design. I think I would be a much better designer. I don't consider myself a good fabric designer at all. And I've learned so much as a collage quilter that I would like to apply to fabric design. So eventually, fingers crossed, I will be able to work that into my repertoire. I'm really hoping to um, keep myself in the design world and have Amelia kind of take over more of the business aspect. So that's my goal. Um, we've got a friend from Ireland, Liz. Welcome. She has a couple kitties that we might name fabric after. So, okay. Let's see. Somebody asked to see the watermelon quilt. This is called Sweet Summer. This was a table topper that we did last summer, and this is definitely a super simple beginner quilt project, even though it looks pretty complex. I think that's the beauty of collage. It looks more sophisticated. It looks quite sophisticated, but it's not difficult. So this is a table runner that I like to that I made last summer and that I want to use again this summer. It's just beautiful, isn't it? I love this one. Okay, so I think that's about it. Thank you for joining me today. Now I'm going to go get ready to launch this quilt along for you guys so you can purchase it on the website. Okay, take care. I will see you here next Monday at 11 o'clock. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the Facebook group. And if you need to shoot me an email, you can always find me on my website, which is collagequilter.com. Okay, have a great day, you guys. Thank you for being here.